Hey, Carrie. Thank you. Bless you too, Sharon. I'm glad you can join. Sunday nuggets, because golden nuggets rather, for Sunday evening, because Sunday evening blues can be a bear. And sometimes if we just had a little coaching, a little nudge to say, hey, I can do this. I was listening this morning to an old CD by Ty Tribbett. Anybody who listens to gospel music or what have you, Ty Tribbett is a gospel artist. And hey, how you doing? Thank you for joining. And so I forgot the name of the record, but it's the record. Oh my gosh, I'm showing my age. CD, whatever. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. But the theme of it is like a boxer, like we are in the ring with evil, with the devil, with darkness. And so it kind of gives this scenario, hey Kay, between good and evil fighting in the match. And so you have some of this dialogue intermittently through the songs. So I was listening to that this morning, and you know, the scenario that he built. Hey Kato, is that Uncle Kato or Cousin Kato? Oh, that's Cousin Kato. Okay. So thanks for joining. So here I am, as metaphorically, I'm a boxer, and I'm being equipped. I got the coach in the background giving me, nuggets. Hey, you can do it. Remember who you are. Remember you're victorious. Remember you can do this thing. And I was like, wow, that's powerful. So what if we did that? What if we just had a little time together where on Sunday evening before that work week begins, we got a little coaching so that we're ready to enter into the match, enter into the ring of the work week with some techniques and with some nuggets to help us be mindful. What's going on, Vicky and Rondo? Welcome. Thank you so much for joining. So Sunday Coaching with Miss Kyan is basically some little nuggets to help you along the work week, hopefully. If you can use it, great. If not, what do you say? What is this? What's the cliche? Eat the meat and throw away the bones. Share it if you think somebody else could benefit from it. The other point of this broadcast is to pick the word of the week for the writing challenge for our Wednesday broadcast called Words on Wednesday. I'm a poet and I know it. Cayenne Inc. is a creative expression business that thanks for joining there. That uses poetry and creative expression as a platform for hope, healing, and social change. In our efforts to kind of expand our brand, just kind of get out there and have fun, we have Words on Wednesdays, which is really a writing challenge. Just basically a writing challenge for those who are writers, story writers, journal writers, diary writers, poems, whatever you do. Maybe you're not even a writer, but you're introspective, right? Then this is maybe a challenge you can join me with, but it really is a challenge to me as a writer to say, hey, you guys submit words or topics. I put them in the jar to pick on Sunday randomly, and then whatever that word is, I have to write a poem by Wednesday with that word in the poem. Or if it's a topic, then I have to write about that topic. And so that challenges me. It basically gives me 2 days, because after this broadcast, I'm not likely to write right away. So I basically have Monday, Tuesday to get that give me something, and then share it on Words on Wednesday's broadcast. So that's the twofold reason for today's broadcast. Sunday Coaching with Miss Cayenne. But I said twofold, but it's threefold. What's going on, Mova? Am I saying it correctly? Thanks for joining, and thanks for the hearts. Appreciate it. Is to have conversation. I love to have conversation. I love to talk with people. I love to hear your perspective. I love to engage. So I like to be by myself too, but I like to engage as well. So I like the best of both worlds. So the third part of the broadcast is for an engaging conversation. So don't be on here just watching or listening. This is engaging. All y'all. So listen, before we start, can anyone relate to having maybe the Sunday evening blues? The evening before the work week begins. And it's not necessarily that you hate your job. It's just that, man, you about to get into that grind. And sometimes the weekend has been so great, the weather, the relaxing, or just being able to do other things. And you're like, here it is. The work week is beginning. If you find that, maybe, this time can be a little challenging. Put a 1 in the comments. Put a 1 in the comments if you find, Sunday evening can be a little challenging as I begin to think about what's coming ahead. Put a 1 in the comments. Hey, what's going on? Thank you for joining. Appreciate it. May you please share this broadcast? I appreciate that. I thank you for the hearts. If you find that Sunday evening can be rough, and your mind mentally preparing for the work week, and again, doesn't mean you hate your job. It's just that, I got to readjust. Put a 1 in those comments. If it's something that you like, I'm ready for Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. I don't have any problems. I'm my own coach. Then you can put a 2 in the comments. When you put your comment, your 1 or your 2, if you want to share any explanation, you can do that. Okay. So come on, let's see what you got. Anybody find Sunday evening to be a little rough sometimes, preparing for the work week? I used to find it to be, you said, yep. I used to, why, Kay? Why do you find it hard? Because I know you love your job. Oh, man. Okay, I got another one. Gotcha. It can be a little rough, preparing for that work week. Any other ones or 2s? Maybe you're like, weekend suck. I'm ready for the work week. Give me a 2. Okay? Natalie, why? Why is it difficult for you? Or anything. It could be a 1 word or a phrase, kind of give a little explanation to that. Share what you're talking about. Why is it rough for you? Or it can be a little challenging. And while you're thinking about it and putting it in the comments, I'll give you an example from me. Hey Tony, hey, what's up? So it can be a little rough. For me, I've had multiple jobs, and I have loved the work, working with people as a social worker or a person working in human services. And if you ain't like it, you shouldn't be in it. That's just bottom line. It's a lot of stuff that comes with the work that it just is what it is. Hey, Karen, thanks for joining. But I know for me, I remember there was a time, this is right after I graduated undergrad. And I was working, graduated undergrad from MSU. I know we got some MSU people on the line, on the call. I say on the call, on the broadcast. It was right after that, and I was working at Morgan State in the procurement department, procurement inventory control. And, nothing against the people. It was just so far removed from where I wanted to be at that point in my, I just graduated college, and I was thinking I'd be, a little connected to my degree in the work that I was doing, and it was contractual. So if you didn't work, you didn't get paid, no benefit. It was just, and I just didn't feel that I just felt out of place. Now, all of it was purposeful. I learned a lot, but I just felt out of place. And when I say to you Sunday evenings, around this time, every Sunday evening, I hear you now. I'm going to come back to your comment. Every Sunday evening, I would get dread in my stomach. Like my stomach would start flipping. And we could be out having dinner with my friends or whatever, but it would just, on its own, my stomach would just start to turn and my body would start to kind of tense up because I just didn't want to, I just didn't want to go there, and I felt like I wasn't in the right place. Even though, how many know nothing is by happenstance, but I just felt like that, and it just drove me crazy. So over the years, I got jobs that were more closely related to my field, and of course, you had good days, you had bad days, you have great weeks, you have really bad weeks. But every place I'd eventually find that I'm still looking for something that fulfills my purpose, that gives me life. Like, there's a such thing as working hard and having a hard day, but because it's purpose-filled, it gives you life, versus that is laborious. You're getting it done, but it's like, And so I always find myself still coming back to that place every now and again if I'm not connected to where I need to be connected. And then I start talking to girlfriends and my coworkers, and I find I'm not alone. How you doing there, Apathy Hot? Am I pronouncing it correctly? Sorry if I'm not. And that's Uncle Cato. Okay, I see you. I got Cato and Uncle Cato. Okay, thanks for joining so much. And so I remember thinking, if I could just remember something. There's some things that I want to share today that may help you if you've experienced those Sunday evening blues. And again, not that you hate your job, not that you're not grateful for the job. It's just perhaps there's something a little deeper that may create that tension, in addition to maybe the stress that the job may bring, but there may be something else, and I may be able to kind of shed some light on that. And that's what I want to do today. Thanks for joining, Portia. We got some heavy hitters on the line. Natalie says, oh, she loves her job, but sometimes she loves her bed more. I'm paraphrasing, but I get it. Winter time is like that for me. Oh my gosh. When it's cold outside, I'm grateful that I got paid in the wintertime, because if it was up to me, I would be like the bear that hibernates. I wouldn't even go out. I wouldn't go outside. But, you know, I got my buns up, went to work. So anyway, so for me, it was about, okay, this is cool. This is great. Ooh, do I belong? Is it purpose-filled? One of the things I was reminded, I said, oh, maybe I can talk about this. And I'm just talking, and so it'd be conversational. So one of the things I started to learn later in life is how to keep me grounded and focused on, sometimes the laborious tasks like the work week. Particularly work, because some of us may have jobs that are just that. You may not have much connection to the job as far as your personal core beliefs. And some of us do. I think at this point in the game, many of us do. We're doing things. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate it. I don't want to mix up your name, but I appreciate you joining on Periscope. Please share the broadcast. But most of us, I think, at this point of the game have some connection to what we're doing as it relates to whatever the organization that we're working for, whatever it produces, whatever the outcomes and deliverables are somehow connected to our personal core values. And that's kind of what keeps us going, in addition to the paycheck, okay, and the benefits, okay. But what keeps us connected, perhaps, is the connection to what we're doing and our core values, or maybe some of you may feel like it's connected to your purpose. And one time I was reminded, I did this workshop. It was with educational leaders in Baltimore City. You had education directors of programs, directors of after school, out of school time programs, and they were here for, hey Cheryl, they were there with us for a small mini workshop that lasted a couple days, and I did a segment of the workshop. Thank you so much for joining, Tola Beeb. I'm so sorry, from Lola Beeb. Okay, thank you for the hearts too. Hey John. So. And I did this piece, right? So they're already coming in like, man, I gotta do this. This is mandatory. I don't want to be here. And what this young girl got to say to me, because I look young now, and that was a few years ago, so I probably look like I was 12 then. Yeah. Those who are retired, don't comment, okay? I see you, Uncle Kid. So I did this component, and in that component, this is what we talked about. I wanted to share that with you today. What are your core values? And what I mean by that is what at the core of who you are remains the same. No matter what circumstance comes your way, whether you're high on life or whether you're like low, bottom, kind of feeling low. But something about who you are remains the same. It doesn't change. I call them my non-negotiables. What are the things in your life that even when you were a kid, it helped to navigate how you made decisions, whether it was good or whether it was bad? I had this conversation with a dear cousin of mine last night. We had a wonderful session, and I was sharing and asking her, what are your core values? What items in your life, what kind of concepts in your life, even when you were a kid, have remained the same, and they were the thing, that was a thing that helped to guide your decision-making process, whether it was a good decision or a bad decision. But it obviously was valuable enough for you when you didn't have any other thing to grapple and hold on to. It's what you use to make your decision. It's what you use to navigate life. So here's an example. I'll give an example for myself. And I have plenty of them. And you may find that you have plenty of them too. And it all relates to the workshop. I'll come back to it. So for me, let me think. What I want to I'll choose integrity. Or honesty. Thanks for joining. Fairy Geep, join the Periscope. Thank you so much. Can you share this broadcast? I'd appreciate it. And give me a few hearts too. So what you find is always there. For me, honesty or integrity is important. I have been taught, be honest, type of thing. And I have done so in the right, in such a way that it has benefited me. People appreciated the fact that I was honest. I think I shared a story one time. Man, I lost my ticket in the parking thing. And I was there for like 5 minutes. And if you're there for like an hour, it's free. But if you don't have your ticket, it's $25. I was like, oh my gosh, man, I lost my ticket. Thanks so much. And I wanted to be like, the ticket was here. I don't know I wanted to make up something, but I couldn't. That wasn't the way to go. Rolled up to the guy at the ticket taker, and I was like, listen, don't know where my ticket went. How much is the cost for the thing? I didn't know at the time how much it was. And he looked at me strangely, and he said, what did you say? And I explained to him again, I had a ticket. I was just in here for 5 minutes, but I lost it. So how much do I owe you? And he looked at me and he said, for you, I'm going to let you go. And he said to me, the reason why I'm going to let you go and you're not going to pay is because you came here, you honestly told me the situation, you humbled yourself, you didn't try to get over. And for that, I just sense that you have a good spirit. That honesty has worked for me. And other times I've been honest, man, next thing I know, I'm owing the state X amount of money, and it was all a mix up because, I'm putting things on here, I'm documenting things, trying to be honest and open. But, of course, it gets all convoluted. And next thing I know, they're charging me something crazy that I shouldn't really pay because it was all confusing my honesty, So for me, but at the same token, when I don't have any other choice, I'll just like, oh, here's the truth. I don't know what else to do. That's a core value for me. And I don't appreciate when someone else is not honest, reciprocated, because that's what I kind of navigate my life with. One of the core values. I ask you, what are some of your core values? What are some of the things in your life that are consistent across the board, and you use them to navigate life and even make decisions, whether they were good decisions or bad decisions, it still remained a core value for you? I talked about loyalty last night. Loyalty is for some is core value. Our hood rats out here, they love to be loyal. That's why they don't snitch, right? Because they loyal. Now, that may not have been the best decision, but that's a core value for them, and you have to appreciate that. So once you figure that out, anybody got any ideas? I use mine was integrity or honesty. Can you write in the comments? Maybe you thought about that question as I'm talking about it, and maybe you can think of, thank you for joining. I appreciate it. You can think of a core value. Write it in the comments, whether that's honesty or whether that's love. For me, another core value for me is time. Time is my love language. I give time, sometimes more time than I need to. I think I overcommitted myself this weekend. Here's an example. I give time and attention. So sometimes that's a powerful thing. Write in the comments. What are some of your core values? What leads your decision making? What do you use to navigate life and make decisions when nothing else you can grab onto? What do you use? What are some of your core values? Put those in the comments. Let me see what you got. What you got? Hey, twin. What are some of your core values? When you think back as a child and say, yeah, it didn't matter what, this is what was very important to me. I see another cousin joining. Hey, what's up, cuzzo? What is something that you use? Don't be afraid. Put it in your comments for you and let me see what you got. If for those who are just joining, this is Miss Cayenne. I'm a poet and I know it. Thank you for joining Sunday Coaching with Miss Cayenne. What's up, Felcy Film? Join the Periscope. Appreciate you. Appreciate you a whole lot. A whole lot. Authenticity. Someone says authenticity to self and to others. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Check this out. Today at church, why was the topic authenticity? That was the word written. We had a kind of a Q&A kind of service today. And the word was authenticity, your real self, your genuine self, not that fake stuff. That's another one of my core values too, Elder Portia. Appreciate that. Thanks for sharing. Authenticity. Okay, and so you want to give it and you want to receive it. I got that. Anybody else? Anybody else? While you're thinking and while you're typing. I am the visionary for Coachin Inc., Healing in the Pen, which is a poetry biz that we use creative expression, creative outlets to foster hope, healing, and social change. How do we do that? We do that through spoken word. I'm a spoken word artist. Listen, I am available to come to your events and spit some fire on the microphone. Okay? I got you, Natalie. I'll come back to that. And so I'm a spoken word artist, and hopefully in that process, I'm going to share some hope, healing, and hope to change some things in your life, right? We also do that through cathartic writing workshops. I just mentioned one of the workshops I did with some educational leaders, and they thought they was there because, they had to, it was mandatory. But we talked about core values and your belief system. So cathartic, whether it's for youth or even adults, helping to kind of get deep down into the healing process, self-healing process, inspire hope, and mobilize them to change through writing workshops and facilitation. Okay. And so, and the third thing we do is community programs such as the open mic, the gathering open mic with a cause. And I'll come back to that so I can explain that. I see some wonderful examples. We got encouragement. Encouragement is definitely a core value for one of my girls on the line here. That I guess that it's important that you're around people that are encouraging. And that you also encourage. That's a core value. I got you. Someone else said faith. Wow. That's awesome. You got to believe. Right? You got to believe, have some faith. My goodness, in the world that we live in, Lord have mercy. That's awesome to have that as a core value because there's so much around us that shakes our faith that if that is something that is a non-negotiable for you, it's excellent in this day and time because there's so much. I mean, I was about to get on the political soapbox. I won't do it. That's going on in the world around us that can shake our faith. So excellent. I appreciate that. Hey, Angie, Regina, Stefan. Thanks for joining, guys. I appreciate that. Go ahead on and share this, share this here cheer post. All right, Mr. Polk, you decided to get serious on me. Fearlessness. I love it. Wow. That's a powerful core value that you're to have fearlessness. Does that mean, not be afraid to try new things or to chase after your dreams or not to be afraid of not to be afraid in general? Or does that mean not to be afraid against pursuing certain things or trying new things? I know some brothers, I'm like, I don't want to go over there that side of town. I'm like, I ain't scared. Like they not afraid of people. But are you talking about people? Or are you talking about pursuing certain things? That's a powerful core value. Wow. Brother got fearlessness on the line. So core values. Your non-negotiables. The thing that no matter what's going on, whether you're at your mountaintop or your valley low, is what you still have. It's what you use to guide your decisions. All of the above. Yeah, I know, big man. Ain't nobody going all of the above. Nobody's going to hurt him and nobody's going to stop him from chasing his dreams. I love it. Somebody else said balance. Ooh, that's a good one. I love it. That's another thing I struggle with. It's a core value for me too, but I struggle. I try to, it's something I'm always doing this with, the scales always, but it's important to have. I love it. So Why do we ask this question? Core value. Thanks for the conversation, guys. This is awesome. I'm loving it. I'm digging it. This is what I'm talking about. So, one of the things I shared with I'm not sure what that means, Tony. If adding a new task, something old has to be shelved. Oh, balance. Okay, that's the definition. If adding a new task, something else has to be shelved. So learning priorities. Gotcha. Somebody else puts a thumbs up for the balance. I love it. So why are we asking this question about the core values? And going back to the workshop that I was sharing with you that I did with the educational leaders and asking them what are their core values. Why did they get into this business to begin with? What do they believe about the people that they serve? I got another amen on the balance. What do they believe about the people they serve or the work that they do? I'm going back to that workshop and I'm kind of sharing this. I'm bringing it to you guys as well. Hey, Imana joined. Thank you so much. So what is that you believe? Like, again, I was talking to educational leaders, but now I'm talking to us. What do you actually believe about the work that you do? And we talk about this in Sunday coaching. We're getting ready for the work week. Well, some of you may be, I don't know, you have different employment opportunities, employment things. That some of you are entrepreneurs. Some of you are leaders and directors of programs. Some of you are working to save the lives of youth. I just happen to know some of the jobs of the people that are here. Some of you are retired, but you still work in your community. And I'm sure sometimes that work gets a little drudgery, but what do you believe about the people that you serve or the work that you do? Why did you get into it in the first place? And if you're saying for example, authenticity and encouragement and faith and balance and fearlessness are things that are at your core, maybe somehow what you're doing connects to your core belief. And a question that I asked the leaders in this workshop is what would happen, because they discussed their frustrations. Man, I can tell you about some frustrations, okay? Hey, Trey, how you doing, ma'am? About working, the bureaucracy, the red tape, the lack of authenticity, because we were saying we was about this, but I know what's going on behind the closed doors. So that was very frustrating to me. But yet there are people that needed to be served, and that was why I was there. So herein lies the question that I asked them and I ask you. What would happen to all of that frustration and all that negative sometimes that we put out there about the work that we have to do? Hi, thank you for joining. If we were being led by our core belief and every decision that we make, even at work, if we were led by our core values. So, for example, I go to work tomorrow, right? We go to work tomorrow and, your desk already got a pile on it. Your email box is already full and you're about to go into that mode. But what if you took a moment and said, okay, why am I here? What drives me? What do I use to make my decision making? How do I navigate? Is that I want to be authentic and I want to give authenticity and I want to receive authenticity. So how about this? How about I approach my work with an authentic spirit? Because that's a core value for me. And if I begin to be led by my core value, by my center of who I am and the work, some of that frustration, some of that cloudiness begins to dissipate. Because now I'm not being led by my frustration. I'm not being led by the external interruptions or motivated, but I'm being motivated from the core component of who I am. And ultimately the core of who God made us to be. The core, which is who God made us to be. What if I went to work? Now you said encouraging. What if you went to work tomorrow and was like, instead of that listing all the boom, 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 booms, I'm like, okay, today I'm going to be led by my core value of encouragement. So how can I be of an encouragement in every interaction? And how can I look for encouragement in every interaction? And I guarantee you it will shift your day, because that is why that's what's leading us. Not the distractions, but our core values. If that is leading us, then we may get some different outcomes. If nothing else, that maybe the Sunday blues will show enough not be so happy. Natalie says, I encourage people with significant disabilities to learn life skills so they can do typical day-to-day tasks that we take for granted, like brushing our teeth or crossing the street safely. So her job is encouragement, right? Her job is encouragement. And as far as the people that you're serving, then you're working with people as well. They also bring a different dynamic to the whole scope of work. So in every interaction, whether it's coworker, subordinate, client, if we are being led by our core value, which may actually, if you think about it, as you start processing what your core values are, you may find that's deeply connected to who God made me to be and maybe what God created me to give to the earth. Now that's a little another conversation, but we're going to start right here, right? So if you start digging deeper, you may find, wow, this is a little deeper than just I'm an encouraging person. And maybe you may find this is a part of who God made me to be. And if that's the case, then that's what you should be focusing on and giving and receiving at all times. And if you're led by that and not by the external things, man, the changes in your world will be phenomenal. Phenomenal. That's my thought on that. Any questions? Any thoughts? What you thinking? How about, what does it mean? Have you got any thoughts about how you can maybe start your work week off instead of being led by the frustrations? Because I know I work for DC government. I work for private nonprofit. There's a lot of stuff that comes along with, I'm not even talking about the people I serve only. I'm talking about the whole context of work. It comes with a lot. And it's frustrating, or there's a grind that you working, and maybe you feel like you're still not getting anywhere. Or I was just saying to a friend yesterday that people who are in the work of help, sometimes they become desensitized and they forget the why. Why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you working? What is the need? And how are you being led by your desensitized state or by your core values, which for you may be faith. If you believe that people can change and you work in human services, then when you go to work, you should operate with that belief. That I believe people can really change. And not that these same old folks ain't going to do nothing different than they've been doing. That's not your core belief according to what you're saying. So, any thoughts about that? Anybody encouraged to maybe try to reframe their Monday morning, at least to say, I am going to be led by my core beliefs in every interaction, and see what happens. Give me a 1 if you're thinking, yeah, I think I can try that. And give me a 2 if you're like, yeah, shorty, you on your own on that one. Give me a 1 in the comments if you say, I think I can try that. If your core, whatever your core value is, and there's several of them, and we all have more than one core value, but, thinking about maybe, choosing 1 or 2 and say, hey, what will happen if I was intentional about being reminded of my why and my core value, my core belief, and my interactions. Give me a 1 if you're motivated to try that. Give me a 2 if you're like, nah. Oh, goodness. Thank you. All right, we got a 1 from Mr. Pope. That's good, Mr. Pope. Appreciate that. That's good. We got another 1, Miss Riley. Good. Excellent. Let's try that. And I know that we do it, and sometimes for me anyway, I'll speak for myself. I know that we do it, we try, and then sometimes I know I have had bad weeks. It's just like, what the heck? And I've lost my core value. I got another 1. Good. Excellent. Tell me, anybody got a brief example? All right, Maria. Anybody got a brief example of how they may, want to try that? Maybe an interaction. It don't have to be detailed. Like, for example, I have to engage with some potential individuals that I'm trying to work with to get space to do some programming as part of the work, for Coachin Inc. So, sometimes I'm in business mode, so I'm like, real staunch and stiff, But if for me, being honest and being integrable, which is not, I'm not going to be lying or whatever, but even also being transparent and kind of being more personable. So maybe in my interactions, their business interactions, what would happen if, it was more personable versus so staunch? Perhaps there may be a different rapport built and a different response to even getting what we need and then some. That's something to be intentional about, because in my core belief, I believe that transparency is a part of authenticity, which is another core value. And what outcomes may I get by intentionally being led by my core values and interacting that way? Anybody else got a 1? Anybody got a 2? Like, yeah, I'm not feeling what you're saying, and I'm okay. That'd be good. That's part of the conversation. Oh, goodness gracious. So, what are we saying today? I said a lot, but what are we saying? I'm asking us to consider and contemplate or be introspective about, what are your non-negotiables? What are the things, what are those concepts, principles in your life that they don't change for you? Good, bad, or indifferent. It's what you use to navigate your daily life or your decision-making process. Some of you may be loyalty. Some of you said it's fearlessness, and balance was a major one for many of us. Authenticity. And there's so many different things that you may say. At the end of the day, this is what I use to kind of, when I don't know what else to choose from, I don't have any other evidence or any other information to make a decision. My default is this, because I value it so much. Some of you, it's been faith. For me, I talked about integrity. Once you kind of like narrow that down, or kind of think about that, not narrow that down, but kind of think about that, challenge yourself to be intentional, to be led by those core values. And you can start right at your workplace. Monday morning, bright and early. Today I'm going to be intentional about being led by my core values. I'm not going to be distracted by the external red tape and frustrations that come with work. It's work, guys. But I am going to be intentional about being led by my core value in every interaction as much as possible. I'm going to give it. I'm going to look for it in every interaction. And then maybe reflect at the end of your work week how that was for you. Did you discover any differences in how you felt at the end of your week? I know sometimes I would feel so drained mentally. Maybe you feel a little differently. Or maybe you're still drained, but not emotionally, just physical, because it was 40 hours, guys. And see what the outcome is. See if there's any differences for you. Yeah, you're working hard to save these lives. I appreciate you. We appreciate you. Mr. Polk works with youth that have been kind of cast aside. They found themselves in some trouble, making really poor decisions. Some people have written them off, but Mr. Polk works with the kids and tries to help them remember you're not forgotten, and you can kind of come through these things. So the society thanks you. Hey, Joyce. So, what are your core values? What do you hold on to as a non-negotiable? Intentionally be led by those core values in your interactions from day to day. Let's start with Monday morning, because it's the beginning of the work week, the grind week. And see how that works out for you. See if your interactions or your outcomes or anything are any differently. And I would love to hear about it if you so desire to share with me on any of the social media platforms. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Cayenne Inc. That's KIANEINK. Or Miss Cayenne, that's MISSKIANE. Or you can check me out on www.CayenneInc.com. On the website, we can find out what's going on with Cayenne Inc. Give me a direct message, Instagram, Twitter. I'm on Periscope. But of course, that's not a messaging platform. But you can follow me on Periscope as well. Direct message me or what have you to say, hey, I thought about that, or hey, there's my outcome, or hey, that was kind of cool, or whatever. Let me know how that worked out for you. Those are my nuggets for Sunday Coaching with Miss Cayenne. Hope that was beneficial. I really enjoyed this conversation. That's what I'm talking about. Let's get the conversation going. Now, before I go, I got a watch on. I'm not used to wearing a watch. Lord Jesus. See, I run my mouth entirely too long. Y'all be giving me good answers and stuff, though. So we're going to pick from the jar before we go. Yes, thank you so much for the affirmation, Elder Wheatley. She says that that she is a witness of my great spoken word skill and ability at her annual signature and acknowledged as a celebration of survival, which is an awesome event. An awesome woman who's doing great things. You left the audience wanting more. Well, that's great. I can give them more. I am definitely for hire, Miss Cayenne, MISSKIANE. You can check me out on any social media platform. Direct message me if you need to put it on my wall because you don't know how to direct message. That's okay too. I'll make sure I get to you. So, and I appreciate that. Many of you are doing great things, and I'd like to shout you out as well because I think it's important to acknowledge greatness around you. And that's another core value that I have, is to appreciate people who I think are doing great work. And they're not looking for accolades. They're just doing the work. And it's greatly appreciated. Hey, Sarah. So before we go, we got a few more minutes. I know it's been kind of long, but I just been enjoying talking to y'all. But before we go, give me a word. Anybody want to add to the pile? We got a few more minutes. We can add to the word choice, topic choice. You can put in the comments a word or topic. Keep it appropriate. And if I see it within the next, let's say 30 seconds or 45 seconds, I know that took y'all long to take y'all fingers and type, then I can add it to the pile, because this is the word challenge for Words on Wednesdays. I will have 2 days, once I pick the word randomly, to write something according to whatever was picked, and then share it on Words on Wednesdays. Here's the other part of that. It's a writing challenge for me as a writer. I'm just trying to keep my writing skills sharp, have a little fun, get some more feedback. But I also challenge all of us, whether you're a writer or not. It doesn't matter if you got fingers, can type, can write, you can speak, you can have somebody translate for you. You have a journal, you just write off the dome. You just want to free write. You don't have to write a poem like Cat in the Hat or, Roses Are Red. You don't have to do all of that. Just write. And you can join the challenge. So the challenge is this. Whatever word is randomly picked, and go ahead and write your word in the comment. Add to the pile. I'm going to add it to the pile. Once I see it, I'll add it to the pile. And then it can be randomly chosen. Once the word is picked, I have to either write a poem using that word. If it's not a word, but rather a topic that's picked, then I have to write a poem about that topic. Okay, great. We got a word. Resilience. Woo, strong word. Strong word. Grateful. All right now. Okay, resilience. Anybody else? Y'all so deep in style. Okay, and grateful. Excellent. Anybody else? What's up, Mr. Deal? 2 weeks in a row. All right, I've added that. Anybody else want to add a word? And we got a few more seconds. The first Words on Wednesdays, the word was tenacity. Tenacity. And what I'm going to do, if you missed those things, I will probably recite and post on YouTube, so you can go back and see each Words on Wednesday. Because those two may not be on YouTube. Skin Deep Beauty. Oh, there we go. Okay. Skin Deep Beauty. I may write something on that, whether it's picked or not. So the first Words on Wednesdays was tenacity. I had to use that word in a poem. And I'm trying to think. That YouTube, broadcast is on YouTube, but I think I'll repost a shorter version where it's just a poem. That poem was actually dedicated to Micaiah Wilson, who was a young 10-year-old girl who was shot and killed in Northeast DC I think it was the end of July. It was actually around the time that the first Words on Wednesdays went out. And the word was tenacity. And in that poem is the word tenacity. The second Words on Wednesday, the topic was mourning the loss of a previous lifestyle. And we shared that on this past Wednesday. And that broadcast is also on YouTube. If you go to Miss Cayenne on YouTube, I forgot about that social media platform. That's right. I got a channel on YouTube, and just look up MISSKIANE. And there are several videos there. These broadcasts are reposted there as well. And that poem will be there in the broadcast. I believe it is called Mourning the Loss of a Previous Lifestyle. That's a pretty cool poem. We had a great conversation around that. So let's see what this week's challenge will be. I challenge you to join me. Don't let me out here by myself. You can share your writing with me privately on any of the social media platforms if you want me to share it on the broadcast. I will gladly do that, give you credit. I won't take it. You won't take it for myself. It'll be your property. Okay? I need my music. All right. Oh, I can't look. Let me not look. All right, here we go. The beauty of alchemy. Oh, I already picked. You late. Sorry. Oh, Lord Jesus. I was trying to avoid this one. I may pick two because this is foolishness. So, I should have took this out. But this is my goddaughter's contribution. The word is, are y'all ready, folks? The word is a supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Yeah. Let me pick again. Oh, gosh. Oh, my goodness gracious. That just means I gotta use two words. She challenged that girl. Oh my goodness. Let me pick again. I'm cheating? No, I'm not cheating. I have to use both words. That's all. Or topics. That's challenging myself. I didn't look. I just put my hand in. Oh, it's a white word. The word is grateful. Grateful. Okay. So that was Natalie's word. Grateful is the word. That means I have to use the word grateful. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. In a poem. I may have to write two because I don't know how I'm going to do that one. But the word is grateful, and I'm going to have to use the word grateful in a poem. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in the challenge. And if you don't want to share, that's fine. But exercise your writing muscle. Exercise the creativity muscle. Some of us are kind of, I have to do it. Yeah, I know. You're right. I have to be integritous about this situation. Exercise your writing muscle and just try it. Use the word grateful or supercalifragilisticexpialidocious in a writing. Even if it's a journal entry, a journal entry or something. You don't have to be a poem. Please don't be afraid or ashamed to challenge your creative side, right? And I promise you, it's a very cathartic experience just to write. Okay? Love you guys to life. I've had a blast. Thanks for this awesome challenge. Join us on Wednesday at 6 p.m. for Words on Wednesday. We'll be broadcasting live on Facebook and on Periscope. Love you to life. Until next time. Peace.